You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com. Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. This is REIA Radio with Owen Dashner
and Tech Hawk.
Short and sweet. So here in Omaha this last week, we've had the College World Series.
Oh, it's a lot.
And it's been hot also.
It's 101 right now.
Yeah.
Today. 104 tomorrow with 117 heat index is the latest I saw.
Okay, so get this. So I literally have the biggest booking I've ever had, right?
It's a wet heat though, at least.
It's like it's like $7,000+ booking for like 5 or 6 days.
Amazing.
And of course the air conditioner goes out.
Yep.
And I get the phone call at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
And like they reaching out over and over again.
Were you awake? Like did it wake you up?
I woke up to the message, you know, and I'm like, actually that's not true. I woke up to like letting the dog outside or something like that. And then I see my phone is just blown up. And I'm like, what is going on? I check it and it's like, it's hot in here. We can't sleep. You know, I'm like, there's a ceiling fan and there's like 3 fans in the house.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, and I can see I have temperature sensors in the house. I have one in the hottest room in the house upstairs and another one that's downstairs, right? It's a Nest system. It's like, it's 71 downstairs and 76 upstairs or something like that. And I'm like, okay, 76 isn't comfortable. Get me wrong. But come on. Like you can't sleep. You're from Texas.
right.
And I'm like, and I just responded back. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry that they show me pictures of it over that's completely frozen over.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, they also were running it at like 64 degrees for 7 days.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, it's hot out. I said, it's hot out. It's been running hard. There's nothing I can do right now. I can get a technician out in the morning, but hey, you're checking out at 10 a.m. So like,
yeah, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
this is not a hotel, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, like seriously, what do they expect you to do?
And so
call an HVAC guy and get him out of bed in the middle of the night? No, they're not going to do that. They
won't answer my call.
No,
I wouldn't either. And so, you know, my technician was there out there by like 11, which is amazing during this time of year.
That's pretty good.
And so shout out Danny Falcon for that. And so they got a shout out. He's like, hey, you know, I recharged it. I put some sealant in. He's like, but you probably need to start putting some money on the side. This system is going to probably be due for an update soon. I'm like, oh, stab in the heart.
We were talking a couple days ago about, like, I always think it's not funny at all, but I always think it's kind of funny to note how many unexpected dollars went out the door in any given week. You know what I mean? Like this week I had an entire system that I had to replace. So it was $6,900,
mm-hmm.
and then a condenser unit and the A coil for another. It ended up being like 11 grand, like right around there.
Yeah.
For the two of them. So it was like, and that's just that.
Yeah.
You know, there's other crap too, but it's like you get those every week. You know what I mean? They're like when you start growing,
yeah,
it's just it sucks.
It does,
because it's like, you know,
give me a break.
Oh, you should budget for that, and it's like, okay, yes, I get that, but like, you know, you're not setting aside 10 grand a week just to replace freaking HVAC units.
Your credit card points love you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Dude, speaking of okay, so you know, you and I have been involved in real estate for a long time. You are both on the agent side and investing, and then me basically just investing. But we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions. And my wife and I started looking for a new house for us,
mm-hmm.
And we've lived in. This is our third home that we're in now, but we've been married. We've been together 25 years.
Yeah,
and we bought this house in 2011. Okay, so 14 years. I just want to bring up the fact that it is not as fun to look for, not as easy to look for a home for yourself as it is to buy an investment property. It is not at all. It sucks.
Yeah, you got to worry about paint color.
Yeah, paint color, and like, you know, there's this really awesome house.
Maybe you should just look at things with a little bit of an investor eye.
But it's not just that. There's like, you know, she'll be like, okay, it has to be within 10 minutes of our kids' schools, because, you know, we're driving 25 minutes every day, one way.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this for years and years and years. And we have one new driver in the house. and we really don't want her going on interstate exchanges and exit ramps and all the stuff, and like we're just not comfortable with it. So we want to be close. But the frustrating thing is I'm like, okay, are you sure about that? Is it 10 minutes? Yes, 10 minutes. That's got to be with that or under that. And then there'll be one that's like 13 minutes away, but it fits most of the other criteria. And it's like, are we looking at like, what is the must have? And then the must have is a moving target. So I'm really I'm struggling like a mofo right now, navigating what are our must haves. Has to have a pool or room to put a pool in the backyard. And I plan on playing a lot of your episodes where you talk about your pool struggles.
I found my leak the other day, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Did Skylar find it?
No, I put a scuba set on and found it.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. But no, anyway, my point on that is it is so much harder, in my opinion, to find a house for yourself than it is to buy as an investment or a rental or whatever. It's just like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, we can put paint, flooring, whatever. The numbers make sense. Make an offer. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, well, did you see how that one door didn't open all the way? I don't know about that. And then I'm like, are you? Anyway. Listen.
Maybe you should buy the house and then renovate it to your standards and then sell your house.
That is the move, I think. But what I don't want to have happen now that I'm thinking about this more is please, people listening to this, do not clip this and send it to my wife because it is not all on her. I have my own stuff around this too. Like, I want more land.
Yes.
I don't want neighbors. I don't want Larry the yard Nazi coming out every day because he has nothing else to do other than 30 or 40 hours a week he works on his lawn.
Yeah.
That's what I got on one side. I mean, then the other side is like the freaking Jungle Book with his yard. He has no concept at all. And he was like a retired attorney. Like, this dude's lawn is like 3 feet high. And I'm like, annoying. Anyway, so I have extremes on both sides and they're both weird and whatever. So I'm like, let's just get out of here. The lake has sucked for the last 3 years. It's super shallow.
This is the time to sell because you can get on it right now.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going through that whole process. It's a whole thing. I mean, and we're looking at our own house though. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, we have so much to do here. Is it going to be a freaking nightmare? Just getting rid of all the stuff, getting our kids to get rid of all their crap.
One of the first questions I have with every client I work with, because I take on one traditional client at a time.
Yeah.
Because it's too much work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, you're my one client and I'm not taking anybody else. It's just investor clients. And then I literally sit down with them and I'm like, give me your list of things that you want in your house, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it has to have 4 beds, this and this and this. And then my next question is, okay, so if it has to have 4 beds, 3 beds, this and this, right? What if it has everything here
except for,
but it only has 2 baths or 3, it only has 3 baths? If it had everything on this list but didn't have this one thing, would you still buy it? I do that every item going all the way down. And I go, okay, so now that we've done it, you're telling me that every one of these things are your absolute must-haves.
Yep.
And there's no wiggle room. In what we finally put on this.
Yep.
So my conversation would be with you. I'd go through your list. Okay, so I found exactly your home, but it's 13 minutes, not 10 minutes. Are you buying it? Yes or no? Oh, so you're saying that 10 minutes, it's actually 13 minutes.
Exactly.
Now, what if it's 14 minutes and it has all this? So
now you understand the conversation I'm having with my wife.
Yeah. And so that's, as a realtor, I'm doing that over and over again because I've been burned so many times on deals that really wasn't that big of a deal.
It wasn't a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So crystal clear criteria,
yes,
right? The
yes.
3 C's. And I don't like it. I do not like I don't like moving. I don't like getting ready to move. I don't like looking for a house for myself.
Well,
all that.
If you had, that's kind of the nice part about having an invest real estate background is like if you're working with those people, like, hey, if I find something that hits all this, can I just have permission to go walk it myself? Because I know you're busy and if it makes sense, I'll go walk it. If it makes sense, I'll video it with you.
Yep.
And then if you guys like what you're seeing, then we'll schedule something because I just want to be able to go on my own schedule and knock these out as fast as I can. So I don't have to drag you guys.
Yeah. And worry about like, oh, we have to go at 5:30 at night or like 8 o'clock or whatever, that whole nightmare.
So as an agent, you guys should do that.
Dude, I do want to give a shout out to an agent that I worked with recently. I'm not going to call her out specifically, but okay. So there was a subdivision that has some really nice homes in it. It's a really, really good. It's really close to the kids' school. It's like 5-6 minutes away. Has some houses in the right price point. Really well kept yards. It's a nice spot. And my regular person sent me the listing that just popped up. And by the way, like I get these from 20 agents. Like anybody that hears this is probably going to be sending me a text being like, "Oh, here I heard you're looking for this." Like, and I'm gonna come back to this question. So I get it from my normal person. And he goes, this would be a good house. And I'm like, yeah, I want to see it right away. Because I was like, it's on 1.5 acres. And there was room for a pool. It had, 5 bedrooms. Like there was all the stuff, right? Like, and it was 5 minutes from the school and this and that. And I said, does it have, or I asked him something about the pool, and he's like, oh, right. Yeah. He's like, yeah, this subdivision doesn't allow pools. It's their thing. That's the only reason I didn't look there. This is what my agent's telling me. This is the reason I didn't look there. So I shopped somewhere else because I wanted a pool. So I was like, okay,
so is there a community pool?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Just no pools.
Yeah.
That was the covenants. So another agent sends this to me after this conversation, and I say, hey, thanks for sending. It checks a lot of boxes, but my understanding is there's no pools allowed. So she called the HOA or the whatever the neighborhood association was and found out that the covenants had actually expired, and you could totally do that without violating anything. And she went a step further and called the county, because it's not in city limits, it's in county, which is great because it's county taxes and all that. And she goes, all you need to do is get a permit. And she goes, if you can fit it between, because it's septic and well, which, whatever. I grew up on that, so it's not that big a deal. But she's like, yeah, you could put it over here or over here. And she's sending me like overhead schematics, where the septic is, where the well is. I mean, she went way above and beyond. And I'm like,
that's what a good agent is.
And I said, I would absolutely like to look at this. So my wife and I went and looked at it yesterday, and it definitely was worth looking at. It didn't have the wow factor. It was like, for this price, I would kind of hope to be like, oh, wow, that looks awesome or whatever. I don't want to buy a project and put $200,000 in it and spend anyway, the point being, agents that go above and beyond, like, don't be lazy. If you put in the extra effort and do that thing, you're going to get a customer like me.
Yeah. It speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about it right now.
Yep.
So no, I understand that. Hey, one thing I was going to tell you is I went to your Caffeine Cap Rates event last week, and I brought up the fact that I got a couple of properties for sale.
Yeah.
And then I brought up in the luncheon also, I had a couple of properties for sale. Well, literally walking out there, one of the guys I knew, Mike Francis, and I was trying to help him with
good dude. Yeah.
Help him with some real estate. Yeah. And another guy, and then those guys came, looked at the property, but I'm completely full of Airbnbs. Like, I'm stocked. Like, the property's bringing in almost $10,000 a month right now, so it's full. And I was like, hey, I can't really show you much. I had a leak in one unit, so I was able to show them because it was getting repaired. But I was like, showed it to them, and then I started doing the numbers. I like really broke down my numbers on it, and I'm like, oh my god, I was kind of ashamed though.
Were you kind of like, do I really want to sell this? Is that what you were doing?
No, I was just kind of personally ashamed that I haven't broke the numbers down like that before. But I broke down per unit what's brought in the last 12 months.
Yep.
I broke down what the monthly breakdown was per month. And then I broke down at what point I did the last rehab, what the numbers were before and after the rehab.
Yep.
And then I broke down what it was making prior under management company, and then with me self-managing.
Yeah. What were your findings?
And I mean, a significant increase in the numbers from me taking over, but I don't want to cover the numbers. My point is that that you got to look at these things as a business owner. You got to look at your properties, do some deep dives. And I know if you have huge portfolios, it doesn't work, but if you have huge portfolios, you probably should be hiring people to do that for you.
Yes.
But one of the advices I got from Andrew Devlin was to go through each one of my businesses one by one, find out what all my expenses are, all your monthlies, and document everything. And then start analyzing really what your cost is to run the business. And then that way you can start evaluating your time. But once you get through the businesses, then start doing it on your personal life. And he goes, it doesn't matter what size you are. You should know what every one of your business expenses are, not just putting in QuickBooks. You need to really know what everything is. So this is the first step to, start selling this stuff off. Yeah, but it's a nice, good step to be able to start evaluating my company. So my properties company is going to be the first one I do this deep dive on, especially since I started this now. But because your event, I got 2 potential buyers on the 5 unit. We'll see what happens. If you guys are hearing this and you're looking for a 5 unit conversion, let me know. I got one's beautifully renovated and it's making really good money right now. And I was like, hey, I'll sell it to you for $500, but if I want to pay agent commissions on it, I'll give you a better deal.
Yeah.
And then the luncheon, REIA luncheon, I brought up the other properties, and I got some Facebook messages already right afterwards about wanting people wanting to buy my other Airbnb. It's like, I'm ready to go to the next step and do something else.
Okay. I'm gonna call this today's golden nugget. You're 2 for 2, man. 2 weeks in a row. You've just laid down some gold and it turned into nuggets.
That's why I want to get the plot thing.
This is a post-dated nugget. I love that. And the point on this is, you never are going to get something unless you ask.
Yeah.
And getting in front of the right people in the right rooms and having a conversation. Here's what I have. Here's what I'm looking for. Those two things, if you mention that consistently enough, you are going to get traction and you'll get conversations going. And I got up, to your point, I was up in the REIA luncheon. I just got up and talked about what I did, and I mentioned liquid lending, and I said, we're always looking for investors, and we pay 8 to 10% depending on the amount you invest. And
on the 7th of every month?
On the 7th of every month, like clockwork, mailbox money, credit investors only, the whole whatever. I'll give my disclaimer, not an attorney. This is an accredited investment, blah, 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 blah. And I had two people come up over to me and ask me for my business card because of that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's a small group setting, and it's like not hard to do. Like takes 30 seconds.
Sounds like we're going to owe each other commissions here in a little bit.
Yes, I love it. I've never earned a commission. But anyway, that's really good, man. I hope you get traction with that. Like I've noticed we have 2 flips on the market right now, or I have 2 with 2 different LLCs that have just been sitting forever. Like reduction, like it's super frustrating. And we're not bad selling season either.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Like it's really slowed down.
I mean,
a lot of reductions out there.
We just had a whole entire real estate meeting about the state of the market here locally. And I mean, don't quote me on this, but I thought they said it was a 25%, more inventory than there was this time last year.
Yeah, I believe it.
And in the Omaha market, if I remember right, it was 5 days to sell.
Last year or this year?
Currently right now.
5
days to sell.
That's low from what I would figure it would be. But
Iowa was 29 days, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. But in Council Bluffs, I think it was like something around 10. I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was interesting. And but the inventory, there's more inventory now than there has been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This particular market, I think they said we have 1.5 months of inventory going right now, which is we were like 0.6.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yep.
So there's more opportunities for the buyers right now. And Neil Gallus spoke about, he's finally starting to see concessions, on deals, which is opening up some negotiation. So, hey, there's opportunities to make it happen. Hey, but before we wrap today, I definitely want to talk about the podcast that's coming on Wednesday with Kirk Jaffe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That guy.
I had an hour conversation with him.
I had none.
And like minutes later, I felt like it was minutes later and it was over. Like, I was like, oh my God, that guy does everything. And I met him on a coaching call.
Super cool. So he was a referral from Jason Dries, your business coach and coach of the Stars, and Brandon Turner and all that. And Kirk has real estate of his own. He's coached real estate investors. He has put together, God, I don't even know how to, I'm trying to figure out how to summarize him best. He's a 6-time author. He does business.
Serial entrepreneur.
Business consulting and coaching, and is really good at it and has, demonstrable results in that vein, especially for people in the real estate space.
The thing I had a big takeaway was from my conversation and also from the podcast was he's like, hey, I got a mentorship program that I work with business owners and I charge $15,000. So first off, I'm thinking like, wow, you don't rip people off. And then he's like, if you don't have results, he has a specific result he's looking for, I will completely refund the $15,000.
So he guarantees the results.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's ingenious. Like, who else is doing that? There's so many gurus out there. Nobody's guaranteeing the results. And then he's like, I got 2.9 million contacts. I'll send your business out on my list.
Yeah, that's crazy. My takeaway from that whole thing was pay attention to this episode when it comes up, because there's some really good stuff in there. And he talks about basically how he's helped people that were a complete mess, like just a disaster of a business structure, husband and wife team. They had like a bunch of different restaurants and real estate holdings and businesses, and they were just like completely clueless about how to even read a
Robert and Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, they were complete morons when it came to finances. And he basically pulled them along the way and just said, here's the path. They got through it, and then
he took over
all their bookkeeping, all their basically like marketing, like basically became an extension of their company and got all their crap in a poop in a group, as you like to say. And
me,
yeah. And anyway, he was able to resurrect multiple businesses that were on the brink of failure because of just idiot financial decisions that all of us make all the time. What I liked most about that conversation was he talked about how he can basically ask people what their financial future is going to look like in their head, and then reverse engineer that into what they have to do on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. And he talked about basically ways that you can implement things that are going to get you to your goals. And you have blind spots. Everyone has blind spots. So he's the blind spot finder in your life. Like this he's so good, very polished. He's been through a lot, and personally, business wise, he's president of the Chamber of Commerce in Hollywood, North Hollywood, for 9 years. And I don't even know how to encapsulate everything that guy's accomplished, because it's a lot.
There's a monthly group call that I'm on, and he's been on for a few months in a row. And I thought, I don't know anybody that's on that call. And every once in a while, they just literally will turn the mic over to him, and then he just,
takes over,
consults, right on there. And I'm like, man, who is this guy? And I checked out his Instagram and stuff like that, and I was like, I need to talk to him. There is some ballers on those calls.
So Kirk Jaffe, 6-time author, like I mentioned, a bunch of consulting stuff. Like he's just done a ton of stuff. Tune into Wednesday's episode. You are going to love it.
If he didn't have a time limit, that would have been a 3-hour podcast.
For sure. 100%.
For sure. Well, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. If you love the content we put out there, please share us with somebody that would enjoy the podcast. And the biggest gift you can give us is give us a 5-star review on whatever format you listen to. And if you give us a written review, we will read that on our podcast.
And also, I would like to hear from the listeners and viewers, who gives better golden nuggets, Ted or Owen?
It's Owen.
You've dropped some knowledge bombs here the last couple. So
it must be those inspirational quotes I've been putting
I feel
out.
threatened. I feel threatened. The crown is slipping off my head here, buddy. It might be the bald spots.
I think you just didn't write any golden nuggets, and you're like, ooh, I could steal that.
No, I actually have 2 back in the hopper now. I get these bad boys backed up for next week.
There we go. Yeah. Well, guys, we appreciate you. Much love, Owen Dashner. We see us out.
On behalf of Aiden Bear, REIA Radio, and Ted Kosh, I'm Owen Dashner, and you've been listening to the
Real Estate Rundown. Look at that flex.
Aiden, you want to do the intro? Why? You have to embrace the uncomfortable if you want to break through the next barrier to becoming a Hollywood actor. So I was going to call, I had several nicknames I was going to give him. The Bear of Business Consulting.
Like you can cover it in the segment.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right.